ain't know what that was. Oh, that's doo-doo, baby. So here come a little bit of pushback, right? Because I gotta hold you. I'm gonna hold you down, fellas. No, I'm playing. The pushback is that they feel as though, because a lot of men look at Russell Wilson as a sucker. Mm-hmm. They look at him as like a simp, a simp. And they said the only reason why that she would give him the opportunity is because she got ran through by so many other alpha men.
That sounds like a hater. That sounds like hating men. Because how are you going to say what he is just based off of him being a gentleman to his woman? So now he's a simp. Because what else?
I don't know if people say he's a sucker because she got ran through. But I do know people say he's a sucker because Ciara is in Future's lineup. And as an NFL player, that's what you choose. You choose a lady part of some rappers lineup of baby mothers. That's your choice. That's why I know guys say, I don't know about the thing about her getting ran through, but I do know everybody's like, you gonna choose to be with Future fourth baby mama or fifth? I don't know. You gonna choose that? That's why I know people be saying. I don't know about the other thing. So yeah, he is a sucker.
Are you gathering that he's a cornball or whatever the term was?
No.
How else are y'all gathering that?
Well, I think the thinking is it's not that it's not that him being a gentleman is bad. Like it's celebrated that he treats his woman the way he treats her, right? Okay. I think we agree on that. I think the problem that a lot of men,
who ran through her, because all we know is Bow Wow and Future.
50 and a couple.
Oh, and 50.
I'm not a huge celebrity follower. Like I'll look at a celebrity as a metaphor, like to what's going on, but I don't look at them like to follow their life. Like I don't be like, oh my God, I gotta see if Kim Kardashian doing something, I gotta do it, or whoever.
Oh, right.
But I might look at it and be like, see, this is why you don't wife a woman in that type of circumstance. Yeah. Look at his ass, so I might be on that type of thing. But when it comes to Russell Wilson, I think the thinking is, it's great that he wanted to be this to a woman and be that gentleman to a woman. But we know,
spit that out, man.
Why her? But also, if things were slightly different, she would not have chose you.
Who knows that?
Boy, if you don't.
Well, because Tom has chose that. Tom has chose. She didn't choose, and I'm playing devil's advocate, but she never chose anyone sort of even liked him remotely when she was in a better position. There was never another man. Like, you could look at it and be like, okay, she got a thing for athletes. She dates several athletes. She dated several musicians. She dated several ball players. She dated several men, and they kind of all fit that aesthetic. Like, oftentimes when I meet a woman and they talk to me about relationships and the kind of man they want, the first thing I'm looking at is their cat facts. I'm trying to see the men that was in her past.
I don't agree with that.
So
I don't know if she wouldn't have dated him because she dated Reggie Bush. I don't think you understand. The image is mainly focused on Russell. Ciara, she is this thing. Now women get to pretend like they can all get this because Ciara got this. When most guys are saying, hey, yo, men with money, I don't even think average men would have chose Ciara. She's Future's like fifth baby mama or fourth. I don't know again the number. Okay, I'll take that back. I don't know about the average man, but I do know any guy who got money, at least $80,000, not even 60. If you got $60,000, you don't want no lady part of number 5 or 4 in some guy's lineup of baby mothers. I don't think you want that, but I could be wrong. That's what I think the conversation is. It's not about Ciara, really. It's more about Russell. What are you doing? It only becomes Ciara because these crazy behind her is saying we can do it too. And now you're like, what world am I living in?
I don't agree with that because somebody could say that about me. Oh, you only date certain type of men.
Okay.
Right? At some point, something clicked in my head. Like, I don't even care about this no more. Like, what is it
and
that
I appreciate
really want?
the growth.
It's called age.
I'm old.
It's called age, ma'am.
Appreciate the growth.
Because I went from a nice, tailored looking guy, like, size-wise was cool. What a lot of people probably would want to be like.
What you mean? Like he was over
fit,
6 foot? Okay.
Or
fit,
just,
athletic build. Okay, gotcha.
And one day I woke up and I was dating a guy the size of a whale.
Okay. Okay. All right. A lamb whale. It was a lamb
Listen,
whale.
a whale.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Why aren't you still dating him? That's the question now. Why aren't you still dating him? And I think it might be because of age. You might have looked way better when you was younger, so you had these crazy standards. But now, when you get up and you look in the mirror, you can't lie to yourself. You could try.
Did he treat you well?
In the beginning, yes.
Okay. Okay.
But I think what made me even give him the time of day was, one, the place I was mentally.
Right.
It was like, you know what? I just want to be happy. Like, so the charm is what really got him in the door.
Right.
But aside from that, if I would have seen him any other time, it'd have been like, hell no.
Okay.
So you used him. You used the guy because you couldn't get nobody else because now you look like a fish out of water. That's all I just heard. This does not make you look better, ma'am. When you was younger and you look better, you wanted a guy in shape. Now that you old, you all right with getting with a big guy? You used him. And then you broke up with him because you're not with him, right? Right.
Like, let's say I remember hearing something on the Balloon Pop show just recently. And I know because the Balloon Pop show, let's just say hypothetically, you show you on a dating app and you see, I want somebody that's over 6 foot.
Mm-hmm.
They'll show you all the people that's over 6 foot. Mm-hmm. And it'll distort your perception because in real life, you don't see that. So what happened is in real life, you might have run across a brother that's 5'7", but he was charming. But you're going to just miss that brother now because you're like, I have so many options here. And then you get to them options, you realize they're no good either. So when you got the Balloon Pop show, you got one person, 20 options. And I think people, when you got so many options, it become hard because that's why you see so many fish getting thrown back in the water.
That's because they're not actually settling. This is what you can get. They believe they're settling because they have the most retarded, stupid, crazy self-awareness you ever seen in your life. Their awareness to their self is so disturbing. Those people believe they're settling, but in actual reality, they're not. The people who coming towards you is the people you're supposed to choose from.
So I think when it came to Russell Wilson, I think the problem was just that people would just looked at her and was like, if she was as fine as she once was, and she's still bad.
Right.
I don't get it.
So
She's
I don't
still
understand
bad.
where this is coming from.
I think that this is...
Because nobody ever said anything bad about her. None of the exes, not even 50. So it's like, what are we talking about here?
No,
like
I just thinking like it's indicative because a lot...
That's because they'll be shamed. They'll be frowned upon if they say anything bad about her. 50 Cent don't just openly go at women. He do it once you go at him. So that's not true. If she says anything about 50 Cent, watch how stuff just start pouring out. 50 Cent will go at guys first. He doesn't go at women first because he knows his audience. It's knowing your audience, man.
Especially with now, men are now really pushing back, especially when it comes to like being stepfathers and stuff. They're really pushing back too for that too, because it's not really, I'm not going to say it's not in a man's best interest to become a stepfather, but in a lot of cases, it don't work out for the man. So I think more men are now having a platform to be able to speak their truth, because at one side, you only heard one person's perspective. What's your thoughts?
I think that if we're talking about Russell being a stepfather, I think it takes a lot emotionally for him to make that decision of this is what I want to do, and this is what I'm going to do, and this is how I'm going to execute this. That's
a lot. It doesn't take that much when you're a guy who's been raised into this life.
He ain't lying.
Black men actually, it's looking like most men now, except for like Asians, they're being raised into accepting you dating a single mother. How's that? It doesn't take that much emotion when you, from a child, they have been spoon feeding you single mothers is the way to go. That's what they've been doing. We live, at least for black guys. I don't know if Russell has, I don't know what he is. He might be. let's just say he is. As black men, you have been getting told information as if a lady is a single mother, she already know how to raise a kid. She's already been working. She's probably independent. So why not talk to her? We've been getting told all types of things, spoon-fed single mothers. Say true, they kind of tell you the women, younger women with no kids, they're immature and they're crazy. You get told that by women. So no, this is not a hard thing for him to do. All he had to do was follow the playbook he's been given all his life.
It's in the rule book. It is. Okay, it is in the rule book.
That's all men gotta do. It's just now men are like, hey, yo, man, this playbook sucks. You mean to tell me that I got with this lady who had a kid and then I pretended to be like the best father ever, and then guess what? She got mad and left me and then put me on child support because the other guy wasn't on it? All types of things happen. That was extreme, but it still happened at least once.
One, I also think that age matters. So her son was fairly young when, they got together. So I think that plays a part in it versus him being older, like 15, and now, you're trying to say, I'm your stepfather. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't really get into that. But with dating, what I do find myself saying or asking, if I'm dating somebody with a child, fairly younger child, I'm always wondering, like, what role do you want me to play in your child's life? If we're going to move forward or begin building something, if we're really going to take this serious, because everybody don't need another mom for their kid. The mother is doing A-okay with their child.
Right.
So somebody might say, hey, I just want you to be somebody another woman that she could possibly come to if she ever needs something, but I don't need another mom. And you have some men that's like, no, I need a mom for my child. Like, my baby mama is crazy. She doesn't teach my child anything. She's not there emotionally. So those are questions that I ask, like, what role do you want me to play in your child's life?
I think that's kind of unfair to put that. I think that's kind of unfair to put that on someone. Like, to
put what on someone?
To expect for someone to come in and be someone's mother. You be like, I'm trying to date and get to know you.
Right.
For you to feel like I just met you and I now must play a motherly role to your child, or a fatherly role for that matter as well.
I don't know, but I think that's a question that has to be asked, like, what role? And be honest, because you might see something in me that's like, you know what, I want you to be a role model for my daughter, or even for my son. Like, I want him to see what a woman is or what a woman displays. You're the type of woman that I want my children to be around.
Right.
You don't have to say, I want you to be a mom, but you could say, I want them to learn things.
Okay.
You
And
have certain characteristics that I want them to be exposed to, right?
I feel that.
You go from there, because there's some, ages I might be like, I don't really want to.
So what's a too young age for you?
Ooh.
Like,
well,
2, 3, 4, 5.
My children are older.
Okay.
So I think that's where the question came from, me asking what role, because if you want me to be like hands-on, I don't know if I'm the right person for you.
So you ain't going back to changing diapers and all
I
that?
don't think unless it's coming out of me. Like, unless the baby is mine, that's a huge jump, because I done raised kids, I'm still raising a child, and you want me to like start all the way over?
Yeah, I feel that. No, I get it.
I'm really like living my life right now. So
you're living your life right now. Are you like living your life like it's golden? Is that what you mean? Living my life like it's golden. Living my life like, is that what you mean? What is your living your life? You mean you want to do what? You want to go out and get a job, or finally find out your career, or go clubbing? Which one? What are you trying to say right now? I'm living my life right now. What if you get with a guy and he want a kid? You're going to say no. But if you get with a guy who has a kid, the kid's got to be grown, because you're living your life. Like, you understand, you are already doing that thing where you're cutting off from guys. But I don't think she cares. I don't like that term, I'm living my life. You're old already. What are you talking about?
You know,
that's a hard ask.
Yeah,
and what am I getting in return? That's when those questions come. Like, what am I benefiting from?
Let me ask this question right here. Would a man be wrong for asking a woman, you know, what do I get out of this? Or what do I get out of being a stepfather to your children? Would a man be wrong for asking that question?
Well, how would the question come up?
If he says, hey, you know, you have kids. I know you have kids.
How far are we in a relationship?
Okay, but what about just in the dating section? Like, I'm just trying to ask. Like,
I mean, I think that's a deep question for like a third date. What is it? How do you?
What the question was? What benefit basically would I receive from being a stepfather? Would a man be wrong for asking a woman that?
I think it's a loaded question because why are you asking me that?
Thank you.
I feel like as a man, you should know if you're coming into a relationship where there's children involved, I don't think that's an appropriate question to ask in terms of what's the benefit that I get for being a stepfather to your children. Like, that doesn't even sound right to me.
No?
Because I'm going to look at you like you're crazy.
But then you just said, what's the benefit for you being a stepmother? You just said that. I might be crazy, but she just said that, right?
You know,
that's a hard ask.
Yeah,
and what am I getting in return? That's when those questions come. Like, what am I benefiting from?
I'm gonna look at you. She gonna look at you crazy for asking a question that she asked. It's just that she didn't have the balls to say it out loud, and that was in real time. That was in real time what she just did. So now that we know fentanyl is her choice of drugs, is her body, is her choice, and she chose fentanyl.
I feel like if you know that I have children, you should already start programming your mind to think, okay, I'm going to be around her children.
Okay.
My question is, why should I want you around? What benefits do we get from having you around?
At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
That's what I would need to know. Like, what are my children going to see in you? What are my children going to learn from you? Okay. Those are the questions. So if you're saying what benefit do you have from being a stepfather to my children, I'm going to ask you, why are you even asking that question?
Okay.
What are you?
Because you asked it to yourself already. Where is the sympathy in this? Or was it empathy? Where is either of those two things right now?
What are you expecting? What benefits have you seen or heard any other man get from being a stepfather?
I just talked about her, but that was true. What benefit have you ever seen any stepfather get? None. She is so smart and dumb at the same time. She don't even know. She just told every guy that they shouldn't talk to her because there is no benefit for being a stepfather. That's what she just said. She just canceled herself out. She is so smart and dumb. A dumb genius.
I think we are in a society where the question is always, what's in it for me?
Right.
You know,
that's a hard ask.
Yeah.
And what am I getting in return? That's when those questions come. Like, what am I benefiting from?
She doesn't even know he's talking about her. I don't even know he's talking about her. This is stupid.
I think that's like the question of what do you bring to the table? I think a lot of people are offended by these types of questions, but I think it's answers, it's questions that need to be answered. When a person asks you, what do you bring to the table? I think a fully functional adult should be able to answer that question without becoming defensive. I think at one point in time, whether we want to admit to it or not, being pretty was just enough. It was.
In the 90s, yeah.
In the 90s. You got to bring something to the table. You'll find got to have something. I don't think it is like that no more.
Just don't have a baby. Don't have a baby and know how to cook and clean. You know, it's not that much. It's not that much right now. You got to bring something to the table. Oh, can you cook? Yeah. Can you clean? Yeah. Is there a baby behind you? No. Most men will accept that. Most men will accept that. Well, if you listen as well. But most men, you don't even got to listen all the time. Just listen half the time.
Would you disagree?
The table talk is crazy to me, to be honest.
Of course it is.
If you ask me, what do I bring to the table? I'm going to ask you, well, what do you need me to bring? Because now I need to know what you're looking for from me. Because I was raised by my father. I lived with my dad. He raised me and my sister since, 9, 10 or something like that.
Okay, so he's a stepfather.
What?
No, you said...
No, my father.
Oh,
my biological father. My biological father raised me.
I thought you said since 9 to 10.
So him and my mother divorced.
Oh, see, that's what I'm saying.
They got divorced, and my dad had custody of me and my sister.
So that's what,
and when I say custody, he was going up and down the blocks trying to figure out who could do our hair, like knocking on the women's doors. Can you braid their hair? Can you do it? This kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So the table, he provided everything. Even I remember when my parents were together, my dad provided everything.
Okay.
I never seen or heard an argument about why I got to pay for this, why I have to do that. What are you doing with your money? Like none of that.
Your father brought everything to the table and they still got a divorce.
He's absolutely right.
Your mother didn't bring anything to the table and still got a divorce. What are we talking about right now? I need to know, do she listen? Because your father brought everything to the table and still got a divorce.
To the table.
I think that there needs to be a different type of question.
No, it don't.
Because I think for women, we could get offended because we'll automatically think you're talking about financially. Like, what do you bring to the table? So that's why I'm like, well, what do you need me to bring to the table? Because then I could tell you if I don't even need to be at your table because you might ask for something.
I think that's a real conversation, though. I think that is a conversation.
You shouldn't. You shouldn't be at the goddamn table. Why are you at this table? That's what you're going to think. Maybe I shouldn't be at the table. Well, get on then. You and your kid. Get on then. Kids, plural. You and your kids, get on. They probably got corn in their hair anywhere. See, now I'm triggered. You got me talking about kids, and I love the kids. Shaq love the kids.
Pop the top and let the sun shine in.
Big screen. That was wild when I heard her say, why would you even ask that question? Ma'am, you thought of that question. You was thinking it too. So that's why he asked it. The same reason why you believe that, what's my benefit to being a stepmother? What's my benefit being a stepfather? Why would you even ask that question? Are we living backwards right now? Why? Maybe I'm wrong. But just because you don't got it in you, you don't got the cojones or whatever they call it, the huevos. I might have said that wrong. Just because you ain't got the Lakers stuff don't mean that there's a problem that I asked the question.
Let it out.
You saying in your head, if he do this again, I'm gonna steal off on him. But me saying it out loud to you, now it's a problem. That's what we doing. So as long as you get to keep it in your head, it's all right. I felt like that was stupid. And then the thing about Future Sierra and that guy Russell, the simp, she don't want him being called a simp. I know why. But the reason is foolish. He is called a simp because he got with a lady who was like number 504 of Future. This man has got money, done all these things to get where he's at. And he said, you know what? I'm gonna be number 5. Then I'll also let my lady go over there and dance with Megan Thee Stallion and them in some party and shaking their behinds. Oh, that guy's not a simp. That guy's not a simp at all. He don't think happy wife, happy life. We know he does. I'm so sure that it's gonna have to be Sierra to leave him. We're listening to her, boy. That was stressful. I got stressed out listening.
Oh, you know what that was? Oh, that doo-doo, baby.